Aries, this is your tarot reading for the entire year of 2023. It's coming to you from the mountains of Java. And Aries, I really hope you get something useful from it. I sincerely do. Aries, I need to be mindful that this is a reading for an entire year. So the fact that it's something of a microcosm of life should come as no surprise, because it is for an entire year. You look at that middle card, the Ace of Pentacles. It suggests that this is about money and that new money is coming to you. So that's a great card to have there. In your recent past, the bottom right, we have the Hierophant card. It suggests you were looking at formal religion, something formal, formalized structure for your beliefs. Right now, you're sort of hanging around, feeling the lie of the land before you act. That might be forced upon you, or you might be doing it yourself, but either way, it might not be a bad thing to work out what's going on before you do something. And you emerge from it in the future, reborn, full of hope, the Star card. So a great card to have there. I suppose if there is a card that I'm not so keen on, it's the card that impacts on the outcome, and that is the Five of Swords, winning at all costs card. Now, I don't know if that's you or others, but it's certainly not a great card to have. The card that would change the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles. That's you being blessed with many things, including wealth, and of course we've got this sort of new wealth running through it. But the thing that does strike me about her is she's on her own. So maybe you will gain wealth but not love in 2023. And that is in fitting with the outcome, which is the Knight of Cups. Full for love, if anything. I mean, he's a great person, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he's a bit of a fool for love. Yeah, I need to look at this in much greater detail. But if it is having resonance with you, if I can ask you to pass a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. It doesn't half help me, it really does. And what I'd like to do is thank you in anticipation of you doing that, Aries. Thank you so much.
You may well be asking, why from Java? What's important about tarot from Java? And the truth is, there is nothing so important about tarot from Java. Simply that here in Java, we have many different spirits who will come to help in your tarot reading. It'll probably put a different reflection on things. For example, the spirits here are less likely to be concerned about love and finances, despite people in Java being every bit as interested in these things as the rest of us. But maybe the spirits are trying to tell us something else.
Now I'll be using probably 2 decks, but out of 3 decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara, the second deck is the Steampunk deck, and the third deck is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love, whereas the Light Visions I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them, something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading.
Perhaps the most important mystical object we use in Java is the kris, the curly knife that you can see that I've placed across both decks. Kris are very important for bringing the spirits to work on any object here in Java.
And I call on the spirits of the mountains to assist me in shuffling the cards, in selecting the cards and interpret them correctly for Aries for 2023. Now, the energy that runs throughout the entire year is the Ace of Pentacles, and that's an absolutely wonderful card to have here. It suggests to me that there's new wealth coming to you, new money. It suggests that, I mean, it doesn't say where you're going to get it from, obviously, but it could be a new job, it could be a new business, could be a new side hustle, could be all sorts of things. But, you know, it does seem to me that money is coming in, and it's maybe not entirely anticipated. You look at the card, they're in a vineyard there. Now, I've not seen a vineyard in Indonesia. I'm willing to believe they have them, but they're rare, so it's a really prized thing to have. And you can see, if you look throughout the gate, it's something of a parched landscape. So if you want to develop this business, there's going to have to be hard work, you know. So we're not saying it's going to be easy, but if you do so, then maybe you can have an even bigger vineyard, and that will generate even more wealth. That seems to be the feeling I get from this. So as I say, a brilliant card to have in this position, because I have to interpret all the other cards through this to a certain degree. Now, in your recent past, we have the Hierophant card. Now, I normally see this as learning about formal religion or established religion. Learning about it from tried and tested sources. I mean, if you look at it, well, yeah, it looks ecumenical, but these cards do tend to be ecumenical. But he's like a guru, isn't he? Imparting his knowledge on those acolytes, as it were. And yeah, it's formal, it's tried and tested. So it is like, if it's not religion, it's philosophy, it's a way of thinking. It isn't the Emperor cards, you know, it's not about a father figure, it's much more about ideas. I don't quite understand it at the moment, but you know, maybe in the past you did flirt with formal religion. You'll know better than I. Your current energy is the Hanged Man, and I don't quite understand why it's appearing here. I mean, could it be that you've been learning about religion and as a result of it you're reluctant to act? You're sort of seeing the lie of the land, you don't quite know how to implement what you've learned? Or is it that religion seems to be a dichotomy with what you feel you should do? After all, the theme appears to be about creating wealth, and maybe you find it difficult to square the creation of wealth with what you've learned in your religion. I'm not sure what it is that's doing this, but there's certainly a reason for you not acting at the moment, seeing the lie of the land before you do act. Now, of course, it could be enforced upon you, and we have been getting this quite a lot lately, but, you know, that's largely been in the past to do with the health restrictions, and this is now. So, I mean, it could be enforced upon you, or you could be doing it. It's not necessarily bad to hang on and wait and see what happens before you act. Often it's a good thing to do. But I just find it difficult to interpret right now. And in the future we have the Star card, which is a lovely card. Again, we've been getting this quite a lot recently. It's a signal of rebirth, it's a signal of hope. Yeah, now, given the whole thing's about wealth, and you've certainly been searching for something, hence the Hierophant. You've been hanging around and waiting. So, we had for Aquarius, I think we had the Hanged Man, not necessarily followed by, but later with the Star card. And this was about, you put up sort of self-restrictions to doing something, and now you're freed. Now you're actually got the bit between your teeth, and you're full of hope, whereas maybe before you were full of pessimism. And I think that would be true. I mean, you look at the card, I mean, the Star is suggesting hope. He's almost baptizing, isn't he, in that water. So it almost is a rebirth, coming out of the darkness into the light. But now we have the Five of Swords, winning at all costs energy. And this is the energy that impacts on the outcome. Now, we don't know if this is you or someone else. I've got the feeling this is someone else's, not you. So somebody's trying to win at all costs. You look at the card, they've had a battle. And he's taking the swords of those he's won the battle from. And the others are holding on to their bums going, well, if you're going to play like that, we're not going to play with you again. It's got that sort of playground type of feel to it, doesn't it? So not only is it a conflict, but it's a conflict whereby somebody has abused their power in that conflict. Of course, we could be talking of world events, couldn't we? Every twist and turn of events in the world, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I wonder if it's the realisation of that, the realisation we're all coming to, that we've played a rigged game our entire lives, but now they've upped the stakes to such a degree, it no longer seems worthwhile playing with them, does it? No. I wonder if that's it. And what we've got now, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles offsets the outcome. I'm beginning to see something. I'll save my thunder for later. But yes, yeah. The Nine of Pentacles, you're being blessed. You're being blessed particularly with material wealth, which goes back to the Ace of Pentacles, doesn't it? I said you were going to get into new money. You're getting new money, and you look at the card. There she is, surrounded by Pentacles, money, in a beautiful garden. Even a bird has landed on her hand. Those aren't fly agaric mushrooms in the background. Those are actually Balinese umbrellas. But it looks beautiful. Can you see anything about this card that isn't perfect? Well, she's by herself, isn't she? So is this a warning? Or maybe not even a warning, but just telling us that maybe just for now, you'd be better off by yourself. I think it could be that. Now, the outcome isn't necessarily a bad outcome. In fact, it's a very good outcome. It's the Knight of Cups. I mean, he's a lovely, lovely knight. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Everybody loves him. You can't help but fall for him. Well, I mean, I've just been reading, or doing some work on Prince Rupert, because I've just got back from my hometown, Shrewsbury, and Prince Rupert had a big association with the town of Shrewsbury. And, well, you know, he dressed wonderfully. In fact, it was him who invented the cravat and brought cravat wearing to the English gentleman. So he was this sort of dashing cavalier that won the hearts of the ladies of Shrewsbury. Always had a wonderful horse, and this night has a wonderful horse. Of course, he was cavalier, you know. You look at him; he's holding the cup out, so he's holding out the cup of love there. He's dressed brilliantly, you know. You can't help but look and admire him, like apparently Prince Rupert, you know. However, people tend to throw themselves at this night. Maybe he has more than one love at a time. I'm not necessarily saying he's a cheat, as much as he's just a fool for love. And he is prone to getting exploited because of that. And if you remember, we've got this winning at all costs card that leads to this. It is trying to tell us something, but I'm not 100% sure what it is it's trying to tell us as of yet. Now I'm going to get some clarity, and I'm going to get some clarity on this overall theme, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Now I know you might think, well, why don't I get it on something later? But I think if we can understand this, then we can understand so much more of what's going on. And the first card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. Now that's very interesting, because I see her as a single mother card. Now I always say this, you don't have to be female and you don't have to be a parent, but you're someone with dependence. So that would explain a lot, I think. And the next card doesn't half fall in with it, Ten of Wands, and that's the card of you carrying an extra burden. Carrying an extra burden, but an end is in sight. And the final card is the Hierophant card again, this form of religion. So things really are beginning to make a lot of sense now. Yes, they are. And it's twisted the entire reading. First card is this Queen of Pentacles, which, as I see as the single parent, as a single mother. As I say, you don't have to be female, you don't have to be a parent. But you've certainly been left with dependence, and I think you've been left with dependence after a relationship breakdown. It's left you short of money, but remember, this is confirming this new money coming in, so you're going to get you're going to get both love and money. Yes, of course, you're going to get love and money. Yeah, I get it, yeah, okay. So, you look at her, well, I mean, look, she's beautiful at the Opera House, but, you know, I think she's put the children to bed, been stepping on toys as she's found a ball gown to put on. She slaps some makeup on. I mean, don't get me wrong, she looks lovely, but she slaps some makeup on to go and have a good night at the opera. And she's pretending to not have a care in the world, and she's thinking, I do hope Johnny's asleep now. Yeah. And she's one of those people, you know, that thinks she's doing a really bad job of being a single mum, when really she's doing a really good job. Yeah. So I think we're getting to the bottom of this. And confirming my interpretation of the Queen of Pentacles, we now have the Ten of Wands, you carrying an extra burden. Feeling like you're carrying the burden of the world on your shoulders. But it's a 10. The cycle's coming to an end is in sight for you. And you look at the card, well, she's lovely, isn't she? She's going through the night, so she knows that morning comes. She's carrying those wands on her back, but she might struggle a bit, but, you know, she's going to succeed. And so are you, Aries. So are you. And I told you religion was important because we got the Hierophant card again. So religion is important. I think as a result of religion, you might find a new love, but almost certainly you find money. And it comes from the fact that you're involved with religion. Probably as simple as that, you know, a member of your congregation offers you a job or a business opportunity. It's probably as simple as that. You look at this, I mean, even though the rendering is completely different, they're learning from the elder person again, aren't they? It's formal, it's tried and tested. Somebody from the congregation teaches you a way of making money. Yeah. Well, I'm going to summarise for you, Aries, because I know completely what's going on, but there's been a few twists on this. I guess it's because we're dealing with an entire year, but yeah, I didn't expect it to come out like this. Aries, you've got some dependents, you've got people who depend on you, and you're finding it a bit of a burden. You know it will end, but it's still difficult for you. Was this a broken relationship, such as a broken marriage? It could well be. I mean, that's the most likely, isn't it? But these dependents are weighing down upon you, and you have looked towards religion, maybe for hope. But paradoxically, it's through religion that I think you're going to find certainly wealth, but maybe also you're going to find a partner. And as a result of these things happening, you come across somebody who wants to win at all costs. And I think they seek to exploit the fact that you're something of a fool for love, maybe a bit desperate for love. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that it doesn't work out, but it feels like something isn't right about it. If you could be happy for the time being by yourself, I think you will gain wealth, and then you will find the love that you want. But I think if you are this fool for love, then maybe you will get exploited. You just have to, whatever this burden is, you just have to bear with it a little while longer. And once you get through this, you will feel reborn. You'll have great hope. Things will feel very different. And once those things feel very different, you will attract the right person. So just persevere. You're going to find exactly what you want, both wealth and love. But, you know, wanting both at the same time might be being a little bit greedy even. You know what I mean?
Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java. Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.